Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and good night, wherever you are in the world. This is the Backdrop CMS virtual user group for the 21st of December in most time zones. Today we're going to be doing some lightning talks about sort of different modules or things that we're working on or case studies. But for now, we'll just do introductions of the people who are here. So I'm Martin Price. I'm a web developer in Northeast England. And if we go to Tim next.
Sure, I'm Tim Erickson, St. Paul Tim. I'm in Deerwood, Minnesota, and excited to see what people are working on. Justin, you want to go next?
I'm Justin Kaiser in Muncie, Indiana. I work for a nonprofit and I manage several websites using Drupal, Backdrop, and WordPress.
Okay, great. So, oh, Herb. Not hearing you, Herb. Are you muted? No, you're not muted. Nope, still don't hear you. I see your lips moving. Nothing. We'll tell you as soon as we hear you. Well, tell you what, while Herb's working on that, Herb, just go ahead and interrupt us as soon as you get some sound. We'll stop and tell you we've heard you. I'll quickly outline what our plans are for today. We're doing, again, as Martin suggested, we're doing short demos of anything people are working on. And we're going to limit them to, expect them to be 5 to 10 minutes each. I'll do a hard shut off at 10 minutes. So that we have time. There's only 4 of us here now, but there may be some more people dropping in. We are live streaming this, and it will be recorded so people can watch these later. Okay. So given Herb's having audio troubles and I'm not quite ready yet, are either Martin or Justin prepared to start us out?
I could go.
Okay. So then go ahead and introduce yourself and what you're working on and take up to 10 minutes. And I'll start waving my hands at 9 minutes if you go that long.
All right. Justin Kaiser, and I have been fascinated the last few months with ChatGPT and OpenAI. I know that there are several Drupal modules that leverage OpenAI and allow you to do things within your site. Like there's one that adds a button to CKEditor and allows you to create content, and various other ones. And I've experimented with a lot of them. And we didn't have anything for Backdrop. So I found this very simple custom module on Drupal.org called OpenAI Summary. And what it did was it created a button on the node edit pages, and it took what was in your body field and sent it off to ChatGPT and brought back 150 character summary of what was in your body field and stuck it in the summary, which was helpful, I thought. So then I used ChatGPT to say, hey, let's convert a Drupal 10 module to Backdrop CMS. And through the course of a day, I got it to help me do that. So let's find the screen share button. The green one.
Yes.
All right. So this is the Backdrop site, and I have this module installed. So it shows up. No, that's not my Backdrop site. This is my Backdrop site. It shows up under content authoring. There's an OpenAI summary settings, and I have the key module installed so I can hide my.
Hey, we're not
API
streaming.
Key.
You're not streaming yet, you know. You're not sharing your screen.
There we go.
Okay, now we got it.
I didn't click the next button.
Sure.
All right. So under configuration and content authoring, there's a OpenAI summary settings. And if you don't have the key module installed, you just put your OpenAI API key in here and save the configuration. But since I have the key module installed, I can hide it from the UI, so I'm not recording my API key. So there's a drop down here to choose what you're wanting to use, ChatGPT 3.5 or ChatGPT 4. You save the connection, you can test the connection, successful. And first of, I should explain how you get your API key too, because when you log into ChatGPT, there's a ChatGPT part, which is the ChatGPT 3.5 and 4.4 that we're all familiar with if you use it. Then there's the API section. So you can go to this part and there I accidentally shared my organization ID. That's wonderful. And create an API key in here, which I'm not going to go any further than that. So what this does is on your node edit screen, creates this AI summary button. And then you click it and it thinks about it. And it brings back your OpenAI summary. Now, this is only a proof of concept type thing. There's another Drupal module called Generative Summary, which has more settings to it. So you can customize the prompt, and each content type inside the body field, when you enable the generative summary, it has its own settings, which is, I think, helpful. So the goal is to make this bigger eventually and incorporate more things from these Drupal modules, but I'm not there yet. Let's see, was there something else that I wanted to show regarding this?
I turned my head quick. Can you quick scroll back up? Which did it do? It
This one has
did you actually do an
you
example?
can customize the prompt. See
Okay.
the
see.
module that I have created, it's hard-coded in here.
Okay.
And this is where you would change the number of characters, which is actually in the code, which is bad. It would be better if it was a setting in the UI like this is.
Okay. So as I told you, Justin, I have a friend who's pretty good at working on this kind of custom code and very interested in AI. I'll try to get him caught up with you.
See, the way this is just doing a curl to the OpenAI URL. So the more sophisticated Drupal module, if we look at it, found it. This one and the OpenAI module use this OpenAI PHP client.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be better if this was incorporated into whatever backdrop module gets created.
Okay.
Instead of using that for the connection.
Right. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Herb, did you get your sound working yet? Sorry, still not hearing you. You want to leave and come back? Do you think that'll help? We heard you for a minute at the beginning of the call. Martin, are you almost ready?
Yeah, yeah, I can go.
Oh, you were done, right, Justin?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm excited about that. I think we really need to get some experiments going in our contrib space with OpenAI or with AI tools for exactly the kinds of things that you're working on, at least to start with. So thank you for working on that. Martin, if you want to go ahead and start, I'm going to try to queue up.
Okay.
Just going to test quickly.
Yeah, we can hear
Yes,
you.
we hear you now.
Oh, I went back to the phone. I don't know why.
Well,
As
maybe
long
we
as
use.
it works that I can talk on this and screen share from the other, but I'll
Yeah.
let Martin
Yeah.
continue.
Oh, are you ready then? If you.
Well,
Yeah.
Martin's just started, so he.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Looks like Martin's ready.
Okay. Can you see the screen? So, what we've been, a few people have been working on. It started by Francis, also known as the Met Man, kicked the ball off with some with the initial code for updating backdrop using B. I decided on reviewing it that there were a few things. While it worked for some cases, it didn't work for every case. I decided the best way to do it, because it could take a while, was created a feature branch in the B repo, and that's what I'm going to be showing you. I've got it got this version installed in my Lando, and just going to demonstrate where we've got to so far. So first of all, we have I will show you, just to show that there are updates waiting. We have a update list account, which will command, which will just list the modules that are ready for update. It doesn't do core yet. That's something that's on the list, but that can update, send that out either in a table, or it can do a simple list if you need to feed it into some other process. It gives a nice clean list if you want to feed it into a script or something. So you can see now we've got a few modules that need updating on this site. I haven't looked at this site. It's just like a kind of demo and testing site, this one. So I'm now going to do Lando B update. And because it is a destructive action, it does ask you to confirm. Though with B, you can, of course, add that confirmation into the line, like with dash Y or dash dash yes. But we're going to update. There we go. So it's now done an update, and if we go to that, and we're just going to check manually again. and all the modules are now up to date. So that's where we've got to. So it works well on single sites for modules. One of the reasons why I haven't yet wanted to move it into the core B branch is because it's a little too destructive for my liking. It deletes the existing folder and then downloads from Git. And for me, that's a bit problematic, because if it deletes it and then it has connection issues to Git, you could end up with a non-working site as that module code has gone. So Joseph Flatt's been doing a bit of work on it, and what going to be looking at shortly is how reconfiguring the B download command so it can handle these different scenarios of being able to download and replace something, and be able to test what it's downloaded. And the other thing that the current B update command is, it doesn't work very well with the multi-site scenario, where with multi-site in B, you can either install modules into the shared folder, or you can install them into site-specific folders. So at the moment it doesn't do that. So that's part of the work that needs to happen with the download function, to then enable some of these more robust checks to happen while we're downloading updates. And another thing we'll need to do is sort of write some tests, so we can do regular tests like we do with the rest of the B commands, and make sure that nothing breaks the functions. So there's still quite a bit of work to do, but if you do want to play around not on a production site, then you can download that branch, and you can run those commands. So that's where we are. It's quite a short update there, but it gives a flavor for what's happening on that space.
Does it use anything from the installer module?
Yeah, we use things from the installer module to get the update, the list of updates and stuff, but
not the part about updating. The installer module, I'm looking at it now, I think it will download it, and then when it seems okay, it'll copy it into the right, or transfer it to the right location.
Okay, I'll certainly look at that then. Sounds like it could be a good template to follow.
You could also, it shouldn't be that hard to just move the old one, the old copy into another directory, is it?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Rather than deleting it.
Yeah, that's another possibility.
Then maybe at the end of the process, there'd be some option to clear that directory out or something.
Yeah.
Well, if you move it to the temp folder, then it will be cleared out automatically.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. Anything else coming in B, or were there anything else that you could mention that was recently added?
Not at the moment. I can't think of. I did have a look earlier, and I couldn't see anything significant that was added recently. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, we could go ahead and move on. Again, there's a chance that we have one or two other people joining us with things to share. If not, we'll keep going. Herb, are you ready?
Can give it a try here. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Herb, well, go ahead and introduce what you're doing. I've been seeing a lot of work on that module, so it's a module I've used in the past, so I'm excited to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's for a client. They would like to use it. It's whether they can convince their staff to use it. So
Sure.
it may be ironic if they don't end up needing it, but it's ported, and it is going to be on their site. Well, it was actually ported a few years ago and abandoned, and as some of these ports,
Okay.
what happens with some of these ports?
So a port had been started, but it had never been a release, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, looks like the first, well, the most recent release was today.
Yes, I had to fix what I considered a bug, which I can get into in a second. Now I got to find a tab. Oh, put this in a new window. I'll just open it here. Yeah, I'll just show you what's included in there. Private messages. Yeah, I've never actually used it, but it was interesting to see here it is, how it's set up. It doesn't have a lot of dependencies, so that made it easier in some ways. And yeah, it basically is to send messages internally between users on a site. And there's a whole bunch of submodules. I managed to fix up a few things, and then I just got on a roll with. There were two major releases in Drupal, and which seems to happen with some Drupal modules where the maintainer is ambitious. They create a 2.0 version and never really gets finished, and everyone stays on the 1.0 version.
Yeah.
And I noticed there weren't a lot of differences between the two, and there wasn't really. I didn't think it was necessary to have a 2.x version. That there weren't anything that were really breaking changes. So I backported some of those, and so including enabling it for organic groups seems to work.
Nice.
So they're all in the core module. All of these sending to all members of the role, rules. I haven't tested it out, but the tests do pass. Limits, so you can set limits per role, how many messages they can send or receive, and all kinds of things. Filtering messages, so you can have an inbox and tag them with various things. Notifications, so sends an email for every time you get a notification or a message. And blocking users that you don't want to receive messages from. I'm not going to show all of this, but oh, there's one more, real name. If you've got real name installed, you can search by real name. Okay, I'll just show you the front end first. So, yeah,
presumably the messages button is only there if you're logged in, right?
Yeah, you have to be logged in. And the messages see here is the ones you're personally receiving, not everything on the site.
Right.
And so you're basically you can mark things as read or unread. If you enable some of those other modules, you'll get more options there for filtering and whatnot. you can delete. And out of the box, deleting doesn't really delete them. But with modern privacy law acts, you probably want to change the settings. There is a setting to flush the messages on a cron, so you can mark them as delete, and then on the cron they disappear completely. And you can see you can undo it too. A lot of this is out of the box. I don't know if I was building it fresh, would I have those kind of things? Who knows? But it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly useful. So, yeah. So when you're writing a new message, I've only got the 2 installed here. You can write a message to a user. So select a user in the system, and it will do a fuzzy search. So it basically it pulls up test, which is user, and then authenticated and administrator are roles. And I had created some test roles on here too. So all users who are in the Zelda or Zeep roles will get a message.
Or kind of a slight tangent but related question. For testing this, you can use the devel module to create users, can't you? To devel generate.
That's one of the things I backported. They had in the 2.x version for setting up test data with this.
Okay, I'm sorry. So that's in the private messages module. There's something for that.
No, with every I gotta enable that. I should just note one thing here. Once it will say you've sent it between these roles. So everybody who's in those roles, if they log in, they'll see a message, and that all gets recorded in the database. All right. So for devel, I don't have devel generate enabled, so do that. And so if we go here, there is a tab for I guess we need to enable that for authenticated in order for this to work. We'll do that. Yeah, we'll just let them write and read. There you go. So if you've used, I'm not going to get into detail about devel, but yeah, I'm just going to set the defaults here and generate. You only have 2 users to handle through. Okay. Oh, right. I guess I should generate some users first. Maybe 50 is a lot. Done.
Oh, Zelda and Zeep are roles, not users.
That's right.
So the generate users was already in devel. You added the generate sample messages.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything other. I didn't create this. It was
right.
already in the 2.x.
Yeah, you said you backported it from the other.
Yeah. So we won't see much unless we're actually included in the messages.
Sure.
Which looks like there's nothing in our inbox. So let's see. There's also a tab on your user account. Actually, I think since we're in Mint, I think we can go to here and see if there's anything. Oh, sorry. Browser just crashed.
Okay.
Oh it's definitely crashed.
Okay.
That's it for my presentation.
Well, this
Okay.
is
Can't move
No,
my
that's
mouse or
very
anything.
good.
cool. So I mean, I think my own sense, I'd just like to see what you think, Herb, or anyone else, is that modules like this, I think, used to be very more popular in early Drupal days, and I'm seeing fewer and fewer requests for this kind of thing. On the other hand, like I have maybe one client that's on a backdrop site that might actually make use of this, although again, I think it would be for internal staff and they probably have better mechanisms to do that. But I was just wondering, do you ever, like, would you go out and like contact some of your existing clients after porting this module and say, hey, we've got this new module, it's something you might not be aware of that we could do for you? Or do you just wait until somebody asks for it? Anybody could answer that.
I can't think of any other than this one client currently.
Yeah.
If any of them need it, though we have nonprofits that have sites where they do kind of use as portals in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be useful. It's a good question. I hadn't thought about it.
Yeah.
And the site, if the site hadn't already been half ported, I had already told them that it was going to be might not be worth working on. But then I noticed that it seemed at the time that it was pretty close. So I thought, let's go ahead and just kind of polish it off and get it working for them. So it may end up being useful for them, but it's true that a lot of people have found other solutions, and this client too has a number of tools where they communicate. So, but they're not integrated with their main reporting system, which is what we're upgrading from Drupal 7 to Backdrop. So that's nice to have that integration with everything else. They can message each other about and just link right to things within the site, and they all have to log in anyway.
Well, if memory serves me correct, somebody else had just asked about this module recently, hadn't they? Right around the time you started it.
There were, yeah. There were a couple of requests.
And is there anything that, like, do you need more testing or help with this, or do you feel like it's pretty stable?
It seems fairly stable. Yeah. I don't intend to do too much more work on it actually at this point. Okay. So just whatever issues people bring up.
Okay.
I have a new project coming up soon that I was planning on using this for.
Oh, okay, great.
And I've also used private message in the past.
Okay.
Yeah, Hook42 had a client that had a very heavily customized private message implementation that I think, what was it, over 10 million messages in our database?
Oh, wow.
Like a few hundred new messages every day.
Okay. In a Drupal 7 site.
Yeah.
We'll have to add you as a maintainer.
It's not a Drupal. It's not a Drupal. It's not a Drupal site anymore. But
okay. Yeah.
They decided it would be better to completely rebuild from scratch than to go to Drupal 8.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. A different topic. Maybe we'll talk about that later. So Joseph joined us during Herb's presentation. Justin and Martin already, Justin shared some work he's been doing on an AI module. Martin shared some work that's going on in B. Did you have anything you wanted to share today, Joseph?
I didn't really have anything prepared. I was just kind of subbing in. Although Laren posted that he's not going to be here, and if someone wanted to talk about Jen, they could do that, so I could show Jen off.
Okay. Do you have it set up and ready to go, or do you need a few minutes?
Give me one moment.
I think it's worth. I mean, this is another case like private message, but even more practical. Like suddenly, Jen is available as an admin theme, and what I've been thinking about in my head is, do I go back to all my current clients and say, would you guys be interested in updating your admin theme? And maybe, you know, it's something that I could easy enough just add the module, turn it on for them, see if they like it. But it's sort of an opportunity to give them a little upgrade to their site with pretty low effort, if they like it better. Which I think most people that have seen it, in my experience, has preferred over 7. So.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, there we go. So, Gin is, for those who don't know, Gin is an admin theme that was created for Drupal, and Laren has been working with the maintainer of the Drupal 10 version of Gin in order to create a backdrop version. And so this is like the basic appearance page with it, and it makes a bunch of changes, especially to like these header areas and to the admin bar look and feel. It's not fully supporting everything yet. So in Drupal, it has a few modules that sort of tie into things, and we don't have those yet. But most things I think are okay. Yeah, that's still working. Yeah. So it's essentially just an overhaul to all the settings and the way everything works. It's got several options for like tables and colors, and I think these colors actually, yeah, they update in real time. So, and it'll change like these highlights as well. And what's an example? Dashboard looks, most things, it will look pretty much the same except with the new styling. I think one of the big changes is the content pages. So the accordion that's at the bottom, or the vertical tabs that's at the bottom of every page, is moved here.
Yeah.
And it's turned into an accordion instead of a vertical tabs. Yeah. But it works the same way as the vertical tabs. So you have like your things that update in the description there. And
it's like you're also showing off tiny MC, is that right?
I don't think so.
All right, is that CKEditor? Looks very similar.
Yeah, that's CKEditor 4.
You want to show off CKEditor 5, go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Well, while you're doing this.
Hang on, I was trying to find something that was a longer edit page.
How about like the views page? Might be interesting to look at. Is that any different in Gin? Like even the save button? I think the buttons are themed a little different. That's maybe the main difference.
It seems pretty similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My experience was the content edit page, or add content is the page that's got the most significant changes.
Yeah, here, let me edit this. Okay, this one doesn't. So not all of them are changed to use the new layout yet. Still a work in progress. Let me add some fields to one of the content types. Link.
Okay, there's nothing too dramatically different about this form, is there?
No.
No.
I just want to make it so that I can scroll up and down on the edit pages.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Add one really long, large text box.
Did I do
a
that?
long text box with 20 lines. There you go. Change it to 25 rows or something. Yeah, there you go.
Post. All right, here we go. So one of the major changes it does is it moves your actions here, and they stay on the screen as you scroll up and down. So you always have your save button on the page. So that way you don't like lose your actions or your metadata or anything like that while you're scrolling a really long form. And then it's also got your breadcrumb here and your back to your home page. And this is actually interesting. So this goes to your home page always, whereas this one goes back to whatever page you were on.
Oh,
I think. Yeah. So this will go back to about, but this one will go to your home page.
nice.
So you can actually have both of those behaviors. One of the things that we don't have yet is there was a module that made the admin bar look the same on the front end theme as it does in Gin, but we do not have that module yet. What else?
I thought there was a module that made the admin bar look closer. I've got it installed.
Okay. But let's reiterate that the point that this is bringing up, which is that this Gin theme is not a direct port of the Drupal 10 module. It's a sort of a replication, and they've created a version of it with the same look and feel, but it's not a one-to-one like feature.
Well, the Drupal version requires several modules as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah,
it's not.
But it's harder to we can't do the port the same way. So my understanding is that they just sort of rebuilt it and are trying to add in the same features, but they might be a little bit different in background.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on the status of everything.
That was sort of what I've heard from Laren, if I understood him correctly.
What's another one? Layouts. Image blocks. One of the things I really like about it is there's a lot less empty space on the sides. So like if you have a big table with a bunch of columns, it uses a lot more of your space. And everything feels a bit more compact.
Interestingly, on that topic, I opened a request. On some pages it feels too wide to me, and so I asked, could we have a setting to set the maximum width? And Laren just merged yesterday a PR, which sort of helps. If you want to do a narrower version, you can use a different layout, and it'll work. But I think you need the very latest the dev branch of Gin for that to work.
Okay, I think my version is like a week or two old.
Yeah, he merged this yesterday. So
all right.
Can we look at layouts?
Sure. Yeah, that's where I was
before. Herb, have you used Gin yet?
No.
I actually had a client come to me that had heard for Drupal. I have a Drupal 10 site, and the client came to me and said they'd heard about Gin and they wanted to install it on their site. I think I'm going to go back and offer it to all my existing clients. I'll just install it and then say if they want to try it, they can.
Oh dear.
The usage numbers are pretty high. I mean, I think there's like over 50 sites using Gin, despite the fact that the release was only like 2 or 3 months ago, if I'm correct. That's a pretty quick adoption rate in for backdrop standards.
Yeah, I really like it so far. We're not using it on any of the sites we host, but at the moment, but I like it.
Well, I suspect what's happening is that a few sort of active developers have installed it on a bunch of sites.
If you install the navbar module,
is that it?
Then the menu looks very similar to what it does in Drupal.
Okay.
I had to find it. Sorry.
No worries.
Okay, what's going on? There we go. You have to clear the
Where is it?
cache. Oh,
I was installing the new module.
oh, I got it.
Oh,
Oh, look
okay.
at that.
So it gives you sort of the Drupal 10 style one.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Suddenly we're
when you install this and Gen, it's very hard to differentiate.
Interesting.
maybe we
But
need to.
I thought there was a Drupal 10 module that made.
There is a
Yeah.
Gen toolbar module,
Okay.
and
So
there's a Gen login module.
Okay, so
But
we just need to port those.
well, I'm not sure. The backdrop Gen actually looks more like Claro than Drupal Gen.
I have not used Clara, so I don't know.
Okay.
Well,
Anything more on Gen, or should we wrap up? We have time for maybe one more quick presentation. Nobody's joined us, have they? No. So I'm queued up. I could do a really quick, rough demo of work that's being done on the D2B module, or we could just. But Justin and Martin just saw that yesterday, because we did it in office hours. Or we could ask Joseph to show us CKEditor 5, which is coming into the next release of Backdrop. Joseph, do you have is that ready? Is that something you could show quick? And have you been playing with it so you could tell us about it?
It is merged into core.
It is? Okay. I've done a little bit with it, but not a lot.
Well, it might be a more timely thing for us to show that. I'm going to make a video about the other thing anyways. So why don't you do a quick demo? Because we want as many people as possible testing this.
All right. The thing comes back every time. All right. So I just installed the module.
Right.
And now I need to go to.
So let's start with this. So the contrib module was released like a month ago, just so people understand the context. And the idea is you can install the contrib module and replace CKEditor 4 even today with the contrib module. But we've also merged CKEditor 5 into core for the next major release in January. And so you can actually test it in core in the dev branch, right? And are you using the contrib module or core?
I have the contrib module.
Okay.
Yeah.
The experience should be the same for a user, shouldn't it? Or
I believe
Joseph?
so.
I think it was just merged yesterday, so I don't think there's any differences.
Yeah, so I think for if you have an existing site that's using CKEditor 4, you'll have everybody will have a new module called CKEditor 5.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have an existing site, you'll have to turn it on yourself.
Right.
So you'd come to modules and turn on the module, and then you'd have to go to content authoring and your text formats. And if you have an editor that's using CKEditor 4, you'll have to configure that and change it to CKEditor 5.
If you want to.
Yeah.
If you want to, right.
And you'll have to readjust your buttons. So I don't know. Let's throw some up here. Why not? Let's throw a whole bunch. And I'll just leave that for now, I guess. Save.
To your knowledge, are those the only buttons that are available, or are there more? There's more, aren't there, that you could add?
Yeah, currently that's what's available, but
Okay.
you can like install CKEditor plugins and add more buttons to that.
Yeah.
And now we just go edit anything. And so this is now using CKEditor 5. And I think if you're just doing really basic stuff, you shouldn't notice that much of a difference. Is this not resizable? Well, I wonder if Jin and CKEditor 5 are not playing well together. Anyway,
So
but it's
maybe mention one or two of the things that are different. Like I think the code editor is one of the big,
yeah, this is actually
much
pretty
better
cool.
than what it was, isn't it?
Actually, is this? Yeah. Oh, it's not highlighting. Huh.
No, you expected it to highlight, huh?
Yes.
Anyway, so there's a few features like that that are actually improvements. Other things should kind of run the same.
I keep forgetting that it's at the top. Oh. New post. So yeah, it's got this fancy code block thing. Oh, how do I get out of it? Oh no, I am trapped.
When you tab out, it won't tab. Oh, there you go.
There we go. You just got to hit enter multiple times. Let's see. I think images work the same as they did before. And
Yeah, the only thing that's not working there is linking images.
okay.
But apparently that's a problem in Drupal 10 as well.
So, Herb, correct me if I'm wrong. My understanding is that the way this will work in Core now is if you update to the latest version of Core on an existing site, it's going to leave your CKEditor 4 in place, but you will be able to have the option to turn on and upgrade to CKEditor 5. My understanding is that if you do that, then CKEditor 4 will be hidden from you. So you won't be able to re-enable it through the UI, but you could still re-enable it through with B or Drush or something if you needed to. Does that sound right in your understanding on the implementation?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
I thought it was supposed to have some basic auto markdown formatting, but it does not seem to be working for me,
Okay.
except for italics. That was the only one that's worked.
So I think what we will be looking for, if anybody is able over the next couple of weeks before the next release, if anybody's able to download the dev branch of Drupal core and test this upgrade process, I think that would be really helpful to the community. So.
I think what I was thinking of the linking images, if you just have an image and you link it, it works, but it's the caption with the image. That's the problem.
Ah, there is some.
No, that's alt text, not caption.
I'm just testing it now. It will.
Double click on the image. Does that open up?
No, it doesn't.
No.
So there's some limitations with this at the moment.
If you
Well, there may be,
mine.
maybe you need to do some more config too. You didn't.
That's true. I
Right.
didn't do very much with it.
Yeah, so you might need to fine tune your configuration for this.
When I oh yeah, is it using the right image button? It's going to be the backdrop image.
I only have one image button.
Okay.
Enable file uploads.
On mine, I see a few different options for aligning and linking alt
My-
text.
My version is like a week or two old as well, so it's possible that that was changed in the latest version.
Yeah, this is really under active development right now, so we could see changes
Yeah. So like
on a day-to-day basis.
yeah. So it's possible that this has already been fixed. So yeah.
Oh, Jen is just joining us. Why don't we wrap up? The dev meeting should be starting in a minute. We'll quickly recap what we talked about today. So Justin gave us a quick demo of a ChatGPT AI module that he started working on. Martin talked about some new update module commands in B. Herb Duell gave us a quick demo of the private message module. And Joseph just gave us 2 short demos of the Gin administrative theme and also CKEditor 5. So let's wrap this up. Thanks, everybody. We'll hang around, and there'll be a dev meeting in a few minutes. I'm going to